Hello everyone and welcome to SUNUP. I'm Lyndall Stout. We join you today from this beautiful ranch in Creek County. It's the site of some pretty intense training for cattle producers.
An old cow or a young cow? Older.
This is Cow-Calf Bootcamp, and as the name implies, the training is intense.
We limit it to an enrollment of 50 people who are really serious about taking their management on their cow-calf herds to the next level.
People like Kim Martin, a relative beginner.
I guess we could call it a midlife crisis is what my kids want to call it. Because instead of us buying a Porsche, we went out and bought 70 acres.
To lifelong ranchers like Doug Rogers, who has a place near Bartlesville.
I was born there, moved away from it for a while, came back, and my dad and I started buying our first Angus cattle in 1999.
For 3 days, the group works with more than 20 Oklahoma cooperative extension experts.
And we try to give them about 30 hours of actual instruction.
The classroom is the 2,000-acre Enlow Ranch.
We feed, we calve, we breed cows, we make all the selection choices.
And calf selection is one of the lessons this group is getting right here in the corral. What to look for before the next visit to the sale barn to best benefit the herd and the finances.
So calving is critical.
The same goes for this session on body condition scoring, which is so important to reproduction potential. But that's only the beginning.
We've talked about proper cattle working procedures. We've talked about herd health and keeping animals healthy. We've had pretty intense study in nutrition and meeting nutrition requirements. One thing that everybody thinks they'll hate, but they end up, it's probably one of the best parts of the course, is actual ranch management, decision making.
Whether it's the cows you're going to haul off, the calves you're going to keep for replacements, or maybe because of the market trends, you sell them because of the extra profit that's there. The decisions of what bulls you're going to breed to, and you see those consequences 9 months later, you know, did you make the right decision or not? So,
with everything that I've been given, it gives me all of the tools to work with that I can make those good decisions and make good decisions that are lifelong decisions so that we're not one of those businesses in 2 years that gives up.
Another part of boot camp, pasture management, taught underneath a giant shade tree by Brian Pugh, the Northeast District Extension agronomist.
Basically today we were talking with producers about the importance of understanding their forages in their pasture and the production of those forages. With the severity of last year's drought, it's important that producers understand what a proper stocking rate is based on the carrying capacity of their land.
The best way to do that? Find a yardstick and head out to the pasture.
That will give them an estimate of how much forage production they have. And what they want to do is look not at the total height of the forage, but at the average height of the leaves. And a good rule of thumb is that for each inch of forage height, that's about 200 pounds of forage per acre. It is important to measure the different spots in the pasture. What we recommend is very similar to a soil sample. Try to take at least 20 samples through the pasture in a random zigzag pattern.
Brian uses a formula to calculate grazing potential.
For instance, here we have about a 11 to 12 inch height. Is you multiply that times 200 pounds, that gives us about 2,200 pounds of forage per acre. And then knowing how large our cow herd is and how much forage they eat per day, we can get an estimate of how long this pasture will run our cow herd.
All to get the most from the land, now and in the years ahead.
Most producers in Oklahoma are slightly overstocked, and this is a great way to assess their forage base and understand what a true stocking rate would be that does not exceed the land's carrying capacity. Anytime that we're overgrazed in pastures, not only do we hurt our forage base for future years, but we also see reduced animal performance as well.
The boot camp bottom line, to manage the operation efficiently and profitably.
You know, you can do a lot of things if you just shut your eyes and write the checks. Buy the chemical, pay whatever the feed costs, but it's all geared towards utilizing forage, keeping purchased feed at a minimum, managing your pastures with the least amount of monetary input.
A lot of information in such a short amount of time, but producers say it's well worth it.
A lot of it is about reinforcing why you're doing a lot of the things. In fact, more important than anything, I think the gentlemen and the instructors we had this week really emphasized a new way of looking at utilizing some of the techniques and practices that we've done.
Because it gives you every aspect from how to buy the animals, how to raise the animals, how to get financials put together before you buy those animals. It's just an awesome program to be in.
We typically have people go home from here and they'll call me in 3 weeks and tell me their head hadn't quit spinning since they left, and things are still clicking into place.